Hello, Chris here from Pixelwix, and we're just taking a quick look of projector rotation. So projector rotation in Projector Calculator will allow us to easily place projectors in a circular form. So here I have a single projector located. I have not chosen it from the database. I've just typed it in for quickness, 1920 by 1200, and I've used a 0.360 projector lens, which has given us that throw ratio, really short, ultra short in fact, projector. One of the things we don't get from the manufacturers, and you don't really see too often on their spec sheets, is off-axis on the X degree and then the Y. And what that is, the X is the position of this lens on the plastic. It's just not usually given to us, so you'd have to measure that and get that right, and you can adjust it. So there is a lens, an adjuster here to actually adjust, sorry, that's the material. There is a lens adjustment for adjusting the actual projector itself, and you can shift that to one way, or you can make sure that you just mount it correctly and mount the mount to the center of the lens and make sure the plastic doesn't hit the next projector. That's usually the way, it's quicker to do. But that's one thing we don't get. We also don't get the Y direction, which is vertical up and down. Some projectors project 50% up, 50% down. In this case, it's all down, 90%. So I've actually typed in -90, which makes that go straight across the top here and down. Some of these projectors have a small amount up and a small amount down. This is 90, so there's actually a small amount just going up to the top. So that's what's going on there. So that kind of fits the screen, but we need to add another one and so on to get around this thing. So the easy way is just to go add in the projector. As soon as you add a projector, it places it on top of the one that's selected. So this is the last one I selected. It adds it on top, cuts out the projected beam. And here I can grab the tools if I wish to and start moving it around. Well, that is okay, but it becomes a bit of a bore to work this out accurately for all the way around. And I can use the rotational tool here on the actual tools section here. The easy way though is just to go to this pivot tool. And the pivot tool pivots around the center, which is marked here with these XYZ coordinates. So I'll just go and hit the pivot tool and type in what I want it to do. Now, obviously negative, I'm on the left-hand side of the screen, so I have to go back to the right, which is negative. If I was this way, I'd go positive. So I'm going negative, so I'm going to type in either a negative figure, or I can physically move these little arrows on the top, hold it down, and it rotates slowly. So if you don't know the rotation that you want, you would just do this until you said, well, kind of 46 looks like it does it. And you want to add another one, you click that one, press plus, and do exactly the same thing. This time we know more or less the number, so we'll type it in. So we'll go to 46. There we go. And that's how you rotate screen and projectors around the screen. Let's just bring back up the actual full design. And you can see that I've got it all placed. The characters here have been placed from the library that's up on the right-hand side here. This is just the models database. And you can see that they're these guys. And the idea of having them actually in place is that you can actually grab hold of the tool, slide them in, and you can see actively where they can get close to the actual screen without being a problem. The grid is whatever grid you set up. At the moment it's set up probably to meters, which is, yeah, meters is the default. You can change this to feet if you wish to, and you can type in how big the grid size is. So you can say they're kind of like 1 foot increments. So now they're 1 feet, and that would give you an idea of how many feet you got around this person before they bump into each other or close to that screen. He's in the way actually right now because his head is just, you can see the glow on his skull cap there, and I can just move that backwards and forwards and find out where his closest position would be of a 6 foot guy. You can measure these guys, they're normally all 6 foot in our calculator. So now we've got this up, we can do all the other things we want to do, but this is just placement. And if you wanted to, you know, do your analyzing and so on, you can do that with some test image. Here's some canal rocks we can put in. It's analyzing to see whether that will beam that whole thing correctly, and it will put that image, split it all up, and there it is. Look, there's our 360 image of what these guys would see if they stood in there. So anyway, this is Chris from Pixelwix, and we're just giving you a few tips on how to use your projection calculator.